Decker is here. Sheriff Graff is here. Mr. Vice Chairman Reeser is trying to get on. Hopefully we'll get on, but we're going to proceed anyways. Have we looked at the information regarding the posting and the information? Lana and Matt, are we good with and the compliance with the open meeting?
Yes, Deputy Attorney General Matt Fury, yes.
Okay. All right.
On the advice of counsel, we will proceed.
Right? Yeah, there you go. Okay, so item number 2 is our first public comment. Does anybody online have any public comment?
No.
Anybody present in the room have any public comment this morning? Everybody saving it for the workshop. All right, item number 3 is to review and approve the board meeting minutes from December 17th, 2025 and January 21st, 2026. I was not present on both of those days, so I will not participate in this, but I think we still have quorum for purposes of reviewing and approving. Were all 3 of you present at those meetings?
Yes.
Okay. So then record should reflect that the 3 members present other than myself were present at that time. We'll do them one at a time. Does anybody have any suggested changes to December 17th meeting minutes?
No.
All right. Does anybody have any changes to the well, actually, I'll entertain a motion as to the December 17th.
Motion to approve December 17th meeting minutes. Second.
And seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And Graff abstaining. Next, on January 21st, 2026, nobody has any changes or revisions?
No.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved. Second.
Seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Said yes. And I'll abstain.
Can you hear me?
which the application seek authority to conduct are similar to the Z-Trip pilot program applied for by Whittlesey Blue Cab and Henderson Taxi, which was heard and approved on July 16th, 2025, August 20th, 2025, and October 15th, 2025. The program proposed by the applicants will allow a passenger using either or both a technology network company's TNC's application and other third-party service provider software and hardware systems to connect to a taxi cab driven by a taxi cab authority permitted driver with all operational and insurance obligations mandated by NRS Chapter 706 required for those services. At public hearing, the Nevada Taxi Cab Authority Board will receive reports on and data generated by the pilot program and may consider whether and under what terms and conditions passenger use of the TNC technology application should receive final authorization. Applicants state their proposed pilot programs are intended to determine if this arrangement benefits passengers and drivers without jeopardizing passenger safety and to provide data about the comparability, between a meter rate and an upfront pricing supplied through the TNC application. They seek to use technology provided by Curb Mobility LLC, the Captain DT5 in-vehicle mobile data terminal, or technology identified as the Z-Trip Taxi Cab Authority or other taxi carriers such as Deluxe Systems to conduct the pilot program. In accordance with action taken October 15th, 2025 by the Taxi Cab Authority Board, pilot programs were approved for 184 days to end April 17th, 2026. This pilot program is examining the use by passengers of a transportation network company, TNC technology application to connect to the taxi cab driven by a taxi cab authority permitted driver with all operational and insurance obligations mandated by NRS Chapter 706 required for those services. At the public hearing, the Taxi Cab Authority Board will receive reports on the data generated by the pilot program and may consider whether and under what terms the conditions and conditions, passenger use of the TNC technology application should receive final authorization. The hearing will be conducted pursuant to NRS Chapter 2338, NRS 706-8818, NRS 706-8819, NAC 706-471, NAC 706-876, and NAC 706-924. The hearing is expected to involve discussion of, but is not limited to, NRS 706 and NAC 706 generally, and any other relevant statutes and regulations, or discussion of possible action. So this was properly noticed.
You ever state that?
Public hearing. I'll do what you tell me to do. So I guess we have, is there anybody that's here to present data and information regarding the reports?
Deputy Administrator Curtis Snell's gonna.
Good morning. For the record, Curtis Mell, Deputy Administrator with Taxicab Authority. They've been submitting monthly reports to us on the template that we designed for them to cover the certain areas. If you look in section 5, towards the back is the latest submissions of it, about the last 10 or 15 pages. It gives a summary of what happened for the month.
So it begins on the page that says Uber Integration Pilot Program, January.
No, it starts with the spreadsheet that looks like this towards that includes January on it. We still have last month's in the book as well, so we can review any past entries and stuff if needed, but about the last 10 or 15 pages.
Okay.
To start with, I'll say that shortly after last month's meeting, Captain came to demonstrate their system to us, and they're the third and should be final technology company to want to be part of this pilot. So they demonstrated and met all the compliance items that we established before. So with your blessing, they're good to go. We give the administrator gives the approval that they met all the requirements on that one. So, but looking at this month's entries, you can see that there were a total of 6,500 additional rides on there for a revenue of $66,200. Overall, you can see that it is improving over last month's 2,900 trips. Curb is now running at 10% of flow from Uber, where Z-Trip is at 100%. The following pages have the reports from the companies of how they were working. Overall, the success is positive. There are really no complaints that we're receiving or hearing or anything. It's continuing to grow. Overall, everything has been pretty positive on it. If you go back, there's a few heat maps in there to show that it is getting to the outer lying areas of the valley, which is a positive thing as well. What we're looking for both the Z-Trip and the curb integration is it's working. It's bringing in additional trips for the month. That's 6,500 additional trips that we wouldn't have had without the pilot program.
Okay.
If you have any questions, be happy to ask, but overall, it's been a positive environment, and I hope they keep seeing improvement every month on this.
Vice Chair Graff, can you hear me?
Yeah,
May I ask a question?
you may.
Curtis, so 66,000 in revenue, 6,500 trips, that means about $10.15 a trip, which is like about half of what our average trip revenue is.
Yes.
Is it fair to attribute that to more of the rides are in neighborhoods, or is there some or is this like a strip? I'm trying to figure out why it would be that much lower than our average price, our average revenue.
For the
If you
record,
have,
Kurt's Mouth-
and you may have no idea.
No, if you look at the reports following the information on there, it does allude a little bit that it's a 32% reduction in comparative taxi rates, and that the average trip is about I think it said it was 3
Yeah, miles.
Yeah, so roughly 3 miles a trip. Yeah, I mean, it is lower. When I look at the numbers, it kind of shows that the Uber amount that the driver is getting is 30 to 50% less than what our standard trip would be. But it is still a ride that the drivers are taking to fill in their downtime.
Yeah, I just that jumped out at me and I just wondered. Okay, thank you.
Does anybody else have any questions? So in failures and concerns, it's got continuous driver pretty much on each of these. There were sub-reports, I guess I would say, for each company. This continuous driver awareness training is needed and more time is needed for the program to mature as we are still operating at 10% rider rollout. What's that comment mean?
Basically, because it's new. I mean, we have to change people's perception that taxis and Uber are not two separate things, that now they are becoming one thing. So it is not only public perception to get people in the vehicles and to see that as an option, but I think it's also driver awareness. Just trying to train them up on the technology to how to implement it. And I think with time, because that's a lot of on the curb side, and they're still fairly new to our industry. and the perception of it. It's a big thing. It's been the same way here for a long time, and to change perception is going to take some time, unfortunately.
I'm sorry, I do have a question.
Okay.
So looking at the April 17th deadline date, I think that there is 184 days between that October and April. So just for my own clarity, when we hit the April 17th date, are we collecting all the data and we're determining what we're moving forward with this, or it didn't reach the threshold that we were looking for, or just help me understand that, please.
I guess I could take that just briefly. It's my understanding that the pilot program was set up for the 184 days to get and compile the reports from the various pilot programs, that they were going to report those back on a monthly basis, and that we're going to take that in consideration at the April 17, 2026, and whether or not we convert this to a permanent program of some sort or require additional time regarding the pilot program. Am I accurately stating that?
Yes,
Executive?
yes, that's exactly right.
Okay.
Yep.
That's where I think we're trying to go,
I
is
see.
get in 2 months to be able to have enough data, enough feedback and everything else so that we get to a point where the pilot programs can be converted.
Sure. And Mr. Chair, how was 180, Vice Chair, Mr. Vice Chair, how was the 184 days determined? Where did that number come from?
So
So-
Chair,
Okay.
I can elaborate there. Member Weekly, when this came before us, there was only, and I don't know if it was Mr. George's company had a technological platform that was being tested. And that is the first pilot we approved. Other folks, other companies are using different technological interfaces, which were not being tested. So when we approved the pilot program for the 184 days, we were trying to allow those other companies, for instance, Captain and Curb, to demonstrate what their interface, their technological interface would generate and whether it was similarly compatible and useful. And we wanted about 90 days worth of statistics. And that's why the 184 got determined. Didn't want to interrupt, but I think the administrator can confirm I'm recalling that correctly.
Yeah, that's correct. And each one of these technologies, the companies needed to work with Uber as well. And so it's just a process to get through it. And I think that's 184 days was to give everybody time to get the technology implemented plus the agreement or whatever agreements with Uber.
Thank you both.
And the rub, I'm just going to explain my rub. Without knowing that each of the technological platforms used by the carrier, the certificate holders operate, we would have operate at least in parity. We would have it like a uniformity issue that we would have to struggle with, Member Weekly. So we wouldn't really know. We really needed to know, can all of these companies replicate the same general experience for the driver and the passenger?
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
And Mr. Vice Chair, if I may.
Yes.
I also want to add, before we set in stone that on April 17th, we're going to decide whether or not becomes a permanent program, I do want to say, while I think this has shown that it's a great program, and it can equalize some of the main obstacles between taxicabs being competitive with TNCs, I have expressed my concerns previously that I don't want to leave the governor's office and the legislature out of approving or reviewing and approving what is a relatively significant departure from the structure that exists currently. I know we're having a workshop after this meeting, which addresses some of those concerns, but I just want to throw that out there that is also a part of the process of the board deciding whether or not if we do it on April 17th or not, whether or not this becomes a more permanent program. Because I think the legislature and the governor's office and everybody has to have input, whether it's through legislative commission in the passage of a regulation, which we'll talk about later today, or through a bill. BDR proposals are due to the department. They're confidential, so I won't ask the administrator to discuss it, but I do want to throw that out there so that we don't gloss over that.
And I hope I didn't misspeak when I said before that it's to either make the pilot program permanent, to extend the pilot program, or to have additional review conditions and everything as described in the noticed agenda item today. So I agree, but that's a good point to throw out there, especially at this juncture, and then we're going to have more conversation regarding the workshop too. Okay. So I don't think we're here to take any action on this item here today unless the executive director has any suggested action that they want to take. We have additional comment though by
We
the,
do have one for you to okay, Captain,
okay,
to turn on their system.
Okay.
Take Uber rides.
is somebody here to speak on behalf of Captain here today? So, and it's the authority's position that they've met all of the requirements that we've required of them in our previous order. And that it's just a matter of us approving there to proceed with what, their pilot program?
Their technology.
Okay.
Chris Bordenero
Any
with Captain. No comment. Curtis and Todd have summed it up. We've kind of been saying the same thing for months, but yeah, we're finally ready with Uber. We've passed their admin testing. They're ready to turn us on, so good to go. If you